Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm in the mood for steak and eggs, and as you know, Las Vegas has, well, used to have some really good steak and eggs deals. I'm going to Ellis Island. Ellis Island is one of the best places I know for steak and eggs. It's just that the prices have gone up everywhere for everything, and so I wanted to check out what it's like now. But before I went for breakfast, I was sitting there playing some Keno, and then this happened. There was a blackout, my first ever blackout in a casino. And then when everything came on, this was the scene. It took a while for the machines to come back. The blackout didn't last that long, but this was what it looked like when it came back. Everything was off. But things got rolling again, and I even hit a 5 spot. So here's the steak and eggs. Now it's $8.99. Used to be a lot cheaper. It goes from midnight to 11 a.m. and on weekends they extend it to 2 p.m. It's an 8-ounce New York strip. Now this isn't a steakhouse, and if you know Vegas steak and eggs, a lot of times they're thin and they're not very good, but this one here is kind of on the thick side and they cook it really good. This is one of the best steak and eggs that I know in Vegas. And we're talking about for this kind of a price. Back in the days when things were not inflated so much, everything was cheaper. There were so many steak and eggs deals. But now it's hard to find a good deal under $10. Currently, this is one of the best steak and eggs deals that I know of. Now, I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to steak because I go to a few steakhouses here and there. You can see my videos on the steaks. But I've also had a lot of steak and eggs at casinos, and a lot of them aren't very good. They're usually pretty thin and not very big. This one is actually cooked really well. They give you breakfast potatoes, which were pretty good, eggs any way you want them. Now, if you're not getting steak and you're getting other breakfast deals, there are even cheaper deals for breakfast, especially on the east side. Ellis Island isn't that big of a hotel, but it's actually got really good food. They're pretty famous among the locals. Another place that I know of that has a pretty good steak deal is at South Point Hotel. This is the Coronado Cafe. This is a video from last year. They have graveyard specials. This menu is from 2021, so now this is not current. They had a steak deal for $5.45 during graveyard. Now it's $6.45. At $6.45, the steak and eggs deal here is pretty good too, but it's only during graveyard special hours. They have also a pretty big slice of ham if you get the ham and eggs. These graveyard specials, however, only run till 6 a.m., midnight to 6 a.m. After that, it's about $20, so it's not much of a deal unless you go during graveyard hours. I really like their Eggs Benedict. This is not on their graveyard menu, but you can add tenderloin medallions, and this was one of my favorite dishes there. But it was pretty pricey, and this was last year. So Ellis Island's graveyard special running till 11 a.m. is a pretty good deal. It means you can wake up at a decent time, mid-morning, and still get the steak and egg special. But South Point is good also, if you happen to eat between midnight and 6 a.m. Now getting back to Ellis Island currently, their steak and eggs was good as ever. I still really like their steak and eggs. 8 ounces, pretty thick cut, pretty moist, cooked very well. And they have some other specials here. One of the things that Ellis Island is really known for is their prime rib special. A lot of people love the prime rib deal here. But the prime rib deal is only available between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. The price now is around $20, $21.95 or something like that. And I don't know exactly what kind of sizes they have. I haven't been here in a while. On this day, I ordered something called a Country Eggs Benedict. And man, I gotta tell you, I really liked this dish. This was really an impressive dish. Biscuits topped with breakfast sausage, eggs, and smothered in country sausage gravy. I like my eggs runny. I like the egg yolk. It adds a rich creaminess. So I got mine sunny side up. This was really good. I love biscuits and gravy, and that's what it was like with a good sausage gravy, but they add the breakfast sausages and then the egg. You can get it over easy or poached or sunny side up. I got mine sunny side up, and just cutting through it and seeing the egg yolk mixing with the sausage gravy and the breakfast sausages and the biscuits, this was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this dish. At first when I ordered this, I didn't read the menu carefully enough and I was just expecting regular eggs Benedict with hollandaise sauce, but this was a country eggs Benedict, and it was a pleasant surprise because I love sausage gravy. This was really surprising and I'd want to go back just to get this again. I was also wanting to try the prime rib, but the time didn't work out. I was here early morning and they didn't serve that until 11 a.m. The prime rib is pretty famous at Ellis Island, but there's some other things too. A lot of people like their fish and chips, and I've never had fish and chips at Ellis Island, but I have had fish and chips at the other Village Pub locations in Las Vegas. If you read the reviews on Yelp about these fish and chips, you're gonna find mixed reviews. Some people are gonna say that it was perfect, that it was great, it was big portions. Some people are going to say it was terrible, it was horrible. Some people will say the batter was mushy, it was oily. I think it depends on how it comes out, just like the steak and eggs, just like the prime rib. But the fish and chips were pretty big. The fish was pretty meaty and I loved the cod fillets. It was great. I was surprised that they even had it available because it wasn't on the menu, and a while back they told me it was only available during lunch or dinner. But when I asked about it, they said it was available, so I was glad that I was able to try it. And I've had some good fish and chips, so this one I would say was a little below average. And the reason for that is because it was soggy. You can see the oiliness in the batter. I felt that it could have been fried more crispy, but the fish was excellent. But I honestly think that some people had really good experiences with the fish and chips. So I think it really depends on who cooks it and how it's cooked. So maybe it would be better next time I try it, because I probably will try it again. Because I've also had a bad prime rib here, but I've also had one of my best prime rib experiences in my life at this place. Here's a look at their breakfast menu if you want to see some of the other items. And all in all, Ellis Island is a great place for steak and eggs, still one of the best deals. Also their prime rib, and they have a lot of items that are actually really good. So that about wraps it up for me here at Ellis Island. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.